Good afternoon. I'm Councilmember Amy Beasley, the 8th District City Council Member, and I'm here with Chief Scott Colvin of the Community Corrections Department, and we're just going to talk a few minutes about what our Community Corrections Department does. So, Chief, there's been lots of debate at the state and national level about jails being asked to deliver more mental health services to the inmates in their custody, and some describe it as a national crisis. What does the mental health treatment look like for our community corrections, and what does the future hold in this area for the division?
Well, thank you for the question, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you this afternoon, Councilmember Beasley. Mental health has been on the forefront of hot issues that need to be addressed within any corrections system, and especially county jails. Some reports will tell you that 2/3 of jail inmates have some type of mental health condition or suffering some type of psychological impact from being incarcerated. We feel like here at the division that we have a good handle on mental health. We just merged the contract with mental health and medical under Yes Care. Yes Care has put a really experienced team of mental health professionals on the ground. Dr. Duff, Dr. Diego, Dr. Phelps, Dr. Zalega, they are all heavily involved in the standing up of this mental health unit that we have here at the division that has a mental health professional in the unit at all times. And what we're doing on the custody side is all of our basic jail officer academies going forward will have a 40-hour course called Crisis Intervention Team that the National Institute of Corrections gave us. So you're going to have a jail officer that is up-trained in mental health conditions and how to recognize them and what to do about it. And that's going to give us better safety and intervention. And it's also going to give the mental health professionals that are trying to help these individuals in the unit good information that they otherwise wouldn't have. I think this unit's unique in jails, but I also believe that it's what the future holds for corrections and that you'll see this become fairly common going forward, I think.
Thank you. The officers that we have that are already out of the academy, will there be an opportunity for them to go through that training as well?
We have a plan for that. Also, pulling officers out of the line in large numbers for long periods of time presents a challenge, but we feel like we can do it. We're going to run the CIT courses. We're going to run 1 or 2 or 3 and run them as an in-service and pull officers that have not had the training, veteran officers that have not had the training, they'll have the opportunity to. The goal is to get the entire officer force trained in CIT, and that would be, I'm almost certain, the first in the nation.
Thank you. Welcome back. Now we have Sergeant
Arrington
with us.
I'm the Sergeant over classification here at the Division of Community Corrections. We're responsible for making sure everybody goes where they're supposed to go in a safe way.
All right, so how many people were booked into the Lexington Division of Corrections in 2024, and what are the top 4 or 5 reasons why someone would get booked into our jail?
Of course, yeah. So in 2024, we had 10,932 bookings into the Fayette County Detention Center. Now, in a lot of cases, that's not different people. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the same person multiple times. That's broken down by about 8,200 males and about 2,800 females, and that comes out to an average of 30 people, 30 bookings per day, which will look different depending on what they were arrested for. Some people are there for a very short time. Some people are processed all the way through and need to be assigned housing deeper into the facility. Now, some of those charges, like you asked, we see a lot of alcohol-related charges. They were intoxicated in public, quite a few driving under the influence charges that come in. Possession of a controlled substance, no matter what the substance may be, we see a lot of that. Failure to appears makes up a large percentage of people that get arrested, so they didn't show up to their court date and they end up with a bench warrant for their arrest. From there, we start to get into assaults, some violent things, domestic assault, and violations of EPOs, DVOs, things of that nature.
So we have more folks booked into our jail that are intoxicated than we do for violent crime.
On average, I'd say that's accurate.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so now we have Sergeant Townsend with us. to tell us what it looks like to be booked and processed through our detention center.
So once you're brought into the facility by the arresting agency, we go through a series of triage questions at the front before you're brought any further into the facility to make sure that you're, one, safe to be into our facility, and that two, that you aren't having thoughts of harming yourself or anything with mental illness or anything like that. From there, we'll move on down to getting your booking photo, the wonderful mugshot. From there, you'll be able to use the phone, eat a sack lunch if you're hungry, and kind of wait for us to be able to get through to the fingerprints. Then we'll do tattoo pictures, go ahead and get you body scanned around to the property counter, where we're going to go through the gelling process of getting you into the orange jumpsuit. Once you're in the orange jumpsuit, you'll see the nurse. Once you've talked with the nurse, went over questions regarding your medical, mental health, and everything, then at that point is when we determine where you're going to be housed, and we'll go ahead and take you on back from there. Now, dependent upon your charges, there is a chance that you may not make it back that far. And in that case, then we do allow you to hang out in intake a little longer so that you can bond out or pay your fine or whatever the case may be so that you can get out.
Okay, so just a few follow-up questions. So I don't remember anybody's phone number. So for my phone call, I'm assuming that you've taken my cell phone at this point, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how am I going to call my friend to come and get me out of jail if I don't remember their number?
So when you come in, we do go through all your property. We do take any dangerous contraband out of it at the counter, and we do allow you at that point to be able to get phone numbers out of your phone. Anywhere from 3 to 5 phone numbers typically, and then you're able to use our jail phones that are able to make local calls and long distance calls at that point.
Does everybody have to get body scanned even if I'm going to bond out?
No. So the only way that you have to go through the body scanner is if you're going to be sent to the back to be housed within one of the housing units.
Does the jumpsuit only come in orange?
Yes, ma'am. Currently, general population only comes in orange.
I hope you'll never have to worry about me being here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you being with us today. We have Major Crawford with us now, and he works with the recruits when they go through the training academy. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that works, like what that looks like for our...
Excellent. Yeah, as you stated, I am the Bureau Commander for Professional Standards. That also entails the Bureau training. And during that time, I provide oversight to our 13-week Recruit Academy. As far as our Recruit Academy goes, we have an 8-week classroom portion. It's a pretty challenging and diverse classroom Recruit Academy. Not only do they recruit officers learn things from law, basic operations, facility policy and procedure, but they're also challenged mentally and physically in regards to being able to respond appropriately during the course of their duties as well. And I talk about mentally, we understand that our role here we're half social worker, half law enforcement officer, and we deal with people in our community and on a day-to-day basis. And so not only do we require our officers to have courage, but they also must possess empathy. We teach our recruit officers the importance of dealing with individuals on a day-to-day basis. We teach them how to engage in verbal interaction with a positive outcome. We teach them how to deal with individuals in crisis. And with such a diverse and challenging Recruit Academy, that helps build their confidence. And with that confidence, we then transition them to the facility training officer phase, which is a 5-week phase of training where they work with a facility training officer to put into application everything they've learned in the classroom while working with the offender population. And then upon their successful completion, they are sworn in at a graduation ceremony. And then at the conclusion of their probationary period, they are given the opportunity to obtain the certified jail officer status to help continue to build that confidence as they pursue and complete their career as a correctional officer.
How long are they on probation for?
Now, they are on probation for a period of 12 months.
And is that 12 months from when they got hired, or 12 months from graduation?
Date of hire, that's correct.
Okay. What is the scariest part of training for a new recruit? What do you think? What do you think it is? Like, what do they worry about the most?
Other than the typical having the OC
That's
level
it,
1
yes.
exposure.
There you go.
Single 72 Hotel.
I would say in the grand scheme of things, I think in this line of work, most people don't know what being a correctional officer entails. And so when I see people on day one, when I introduce myself and we talk about what this job entails, eyes wide open. They don't know what to expect. And it's our job to make sure they know exactly what and be prepared what they're going to encounter on a day-to-day basis. And I feel like we do a proficiency doing that.
So I'm sure everybody knows by now that our daughter was one of the last graduating classes. I'm sure everybody in the jail knows it, and everybody in Fayette County knows it because I talk about it all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
She loves you and the program.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I don't know what made her wake up one day and decide she was going to be a corrections officer, but here we are. And I assume that she's not the only one who just gets up one day and goes, I think I'll try out for the community corrections department.
That's absolutely correct. I always tell everyone there's two ways that you come into the business of corrections. Either you've known somebody and they've told you about it, or you're curious and you jump in, and then here you are in the Recruit Academy and you learn to love it. And so I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for sharing that.
And she does love it.
Excellent.
She does.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for being
Thank
with
you.
us today. So, Corporal Wildrum, I hear that you have a distinguished honor that I would like to hear about. Would you like to tell us what your distinguished honor is?
I am the state of Kentucky's first certified jail officer as recognized by the American Jail Association.
What exactly does that mean?
So it means a lot of things. It means that I was able to sit for a national recognized test to test my skills and my proficiency level to ascertain whether I know what I need to know to be great at my job.
And how many other officers in our community corrections department are?
86.
We have 86 officers?
86 officers. That makes us #1 in the nation.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that doesn't happen without the training that we receive here. And it doesn't happen without the encouragement of the chief to his executive command. It doesn't. That means something, that we have a leader in the chief's spot, somebody who got a national designation and then instilled in us that we could do the same thing, that they could test our competency. And we come out as #1 in the nation with 86 certified jail officers to date. And again, that doesn't happen without good leadership.
That's amazing. 86 of y'all being certified is amazing. I appreciate you talking to us today. Chief, thanks for allowing us to come out here today and spend some time at our detention center. Is there any last words you have for the folks before we wrap this up?
No, we just really appreciate the opportunity, Councilmember Beasley. It's one of the stated, goals that I told the officers that I would concentrate on getting done for them, which is repping all the good work, the hard work, the brave deeds that are happening behind these walls and these doors, and get that out to the community. So I just want to thank you for giving me a venue and an opportunity to do just that. So I know the officers will appreciate this. Thank you.
Thanks. We appreciate you having us. Thank you.